Look, this video is just going to be easy, okay? What we're dealing with is this: in the event of spiritual research, you never hear that term. The only term that you've ever heard is science did that. Before the world that you're in, black magic is called science. In black magic, you have operators, okay, that operate. You call 911 for the operator. 911, dispatch. In black magic, you dispatch. They'll say, we've got a unit on the way. Out of Y, and you got unity. It's very deep what we're fixing to talk about. But the spiritual research, once we get to a certain point and our faculties have been granted that we unlock back to us, then we can see things the way they are in one instant. Okay? And one of the problems that we have in these cavities is for someone to listen to us. Okay? Especially if they're in a religion. Okay? We know that scripture has been sifted over and over, but we know that there's truth within. There's no truth in this. These human beings around me, around Matt, they come at me with this. They try fighting me with this. And I fight them with scripture. Do you understand how flip-flop that is? That's black magic. Okay? They've never been outside at night. Their eyes have never adjusted to long-distance objects like mountains, which are melted structures covered up with trees finally growing back and all that. They don't have any breathing exercises. They're given substances to eat and drink and to become obese and unhealthy, and then they're given recliners and mattresses and shit that adjust around their deformities so their organs grow even more deformed and they die even quicker. That's right. And then demons win. So people will not listen. So that has to be a cognitive disorder. Okay? When you're dealing with people coming at you with this thing, let's break it down with spiritual research. And then we'll just compare with an AA fourth step inventory. we are just the combination of all combinations. Why can't a mentally challenged person listen? Okay, I'm going to read this from what Google says. It says, when someone with an intellectual or developmental disability appears not to listen, it is rarely out of stubbornness or defiance. It is usually due to differences in how their brain processes information, struggles with sensory processing, or challenges understanding complex spoken instructions in the moment. That means when we're talking to somebody that comes at us and we're giving them real truth about the unseen, their brain can't process that information because it didn't come through this. This is a channel. Okay, the same way that all those life forms, those are channels. Each one of those orbs up there is a channel. It is. That's where the TV gets channels. It doesn't matter what you watch, each channel is going to produce a different form, life form. Each channel out there, each flower, plant, and all that's a different life form. It's the opposite. So, struggles with sensory processing. See, their sensorium organ, okay, the occipital lobe is back here and it has to do with the imagination. So when you destroy that at such a young age, it grows false realities into the sensorium organ, which is the faculties in your senses. So touch, feel, sight, and all that is all not real because we have more. We know through spiritual research. But all the faculties that these dummies think that they have, they're they're designed into these screens. So every emotion that they have comes from this. So they're going to struggle with sensory processing. See, they're trying to process you because you're not in here. This is deep. Now we're getting to, now you're dealing with this Ahrimanic character whose only connection is this. They've got a mental illness. They can't listen. Okay? It challenges their understanding of a complex engagement of a conversation. It challenges their instant answer ability to process everything, because this is an instant. And remember, this is devoid of spirit and soul. Instant answers create auditory processing differences. My whole point is we're dealing with, it's the mentally challenged individual. They're mentally challenged because their only connection is this. And it goes back to what Steiner had talked about. The soul and the spirit is mentally challenged, but the human being is not. It's a cavity. The brain is space. How do we occupy the brain space? With billboards, images, black magic, penetrate the optic nerve, occipital lobe, imagination, sensory organ, faculty, senses, grows into this. There's your Ahrimanic being, grows into, and then all these forces coming through here is creating these angry Ahrimanic demons that are in all these churches, universities, schools, and everywhere. Auditory processing differences. Look, if you're seeing this, comment right now, hell yeah. Seriously. If you can't, then you're nowhere near it. This is black magic. We're showing you how all them out there are the definition of mental illness. And they won't listen. Man, you can listen, right? It's a yes or no question. Yes. Do they run from certain things? Yes. Are they sensitive to certain topics? Yes. Have they been coerced into hating people because of terms? Black magic words is 666 and satanic gematria. If you're following along and you've been listening and watching. Look, if I ever had a platform, I'd been dead a long time ago. That's what I'm saying. What's in me, it was already foreseen. So we can get away with this shit right here. I mean, it's serious. I'm telling you, if you can see a fraction of it, then that means what's in you, too, had something to do with black magic. Which is a good thing, because we can see both sides. Says auditory processing differences. Many individuals, including those with autism or Down syndrome, that's the soul and the spirit. The cavity is just full of whatever's in the screen. The brain is the space full of cartoons and stuff. The soul and the spirit's got Down syndrome. That's how it looks. Their ears hear the words just fine, but the brain struggles to decode, interpret, and make sense of the sound quickly. Let's restructure that to us talking to an Ahrimanic entity. Their ears hear words just fine, but the brain struggles to decode, interpret, and make sense of the topic quickly. Because they can't ponder. They can't say, let me get back to you in a couple of weeks. No, they're going to cuss you out right then and there and tell you it's not in here. If it was in here, I'd believe you. Black magic. Sensory overload. This is what children go through with these. It's crazy. I mean, it's literally, they are showing you black magic. And you just have to have somebody to explain it to you on how it's exactly what it is. And how it has to do with principalities, like Scripture says. In busy, loud, or highly distracting environments, their brains may struggle to filter out background noise. The noise can literally drown out your voice, causing them to shut down or disengage entirely. Now, the sensory overload is whenever you, like these physicists that's argued with me and engineers, when you give them something concrete, they they just start repeating something they've memorized, and then they disengage from the whole conversation, and they're overloading. They've memorized something, and I ain't gonna go into detail, but they just sit there and they repeat it. Just like somebody that gets so fucking pissed off and they've had enough shit and they just keep repeating it over and over and over and over because it's overloaded. They'll just come at me and that's all they kept saying. That's not real. That's not real. That's not real. And kept telling other people, that's not real. That's not real. That's not real. It's not in the schools. It's not real. It's not real. That's an Ahrimanic sensory overload of being uploaded with black magic. Receptive language delays. Language, words, letters. If you've been into Steiner enough and heard, what was channeling through him when he talks about when these Jesuits started putting letters beside their names. And whenever one of them went over there and they was in the same room and before letters started, they started just emptying all their thoughts out. Oh, look, I'm writing my thoughts on this paper. I'm going to send it to you. Yeah, it's so demon Ahrimanic. Receptive language delays. Understanding language requires a lot of cognitive energy for someone with an intellectual disability. If instructions are too long or multi-step. If the conversation is too deep and too broad, they can't. Their brain might not be able to process the request before you move on to the next issue. That's what I'm saying. I just said that. That's what they do. That's not real. That's not. Now we're going to talk about the moon landing. We're going to talk about what you don't look up. We're going to talk about how the magnetic field pulls all the sun, moon, all. Or no. And then they fucking literally turn into a little child, a little 3-year-old. That engineer and physicist, I went and bought a bunch of kids' meals, and it all had space shit on it. And I took them to him, and I said, there's your fucking mind control since you were born, you stupid shit. And he's sitting there drinking that soda, and I said, what's the soda doing to you? You're an engineer. He couldn't tell me, and I said, it's engineering diabetes on purpose. But you're an engineer, you should know that. And then he just laughed it off, and then a year later, his pancreas shuts down, 25 years old. I told every one of them what was going to happen. I said, there's going to be a number of things that could happen, and that happened. And the rest of them fucking listened, I can tell you that. And he still ain't. That's the whole thing. They're mentally challenged. They just can't accept it. They can't accept that they don't learn anything. If I'm a demon, we program them with these images. Sensory overloads, and then they become numb. And then it's just the billboard is part of them. If we went out there and took them all down, all these idiots would go fucking crazy. Alternative communication needs. Many individuals communicate or understand the world in non-traditional ways. They may rely heavily on lip reading, body language, visual cues, or assistive technology to fully grasp what is being said. If you are trying to communicate with a mentally or cognitively challenged person, try simplifying your communication. Simplifying would be this to them. Outside of that, it's like, do you want to give it a year by looking up? And they'll tell you, fuck off, I'm going back inside. Use short one-step instructions. Isn't that sad that that's how we have to talk about these career experts, licensed people making all these millions, doctors who are pathetically out of shape? Do you think that like I'm healthy? You think I'm gonna go to some fucking idiot that's out of shape? Are you serious? Are you serious? That's who the fuck we are as a nation. Just go over there and get a fucking 6-week thing. There you go. And then you can be an S&M pervert on the side. Yeah, and the community will love you for it because you're a programmed demon Ahriman. Minimize background noise and give them plenty of time to process what you have said before expecting a response. They can't even process it. They dismiss it. They're mentally challenged. When you dismiss and disengage in anything, any topic, you've got a mental illness. It's screen shit. It's screen mental illness. That's all it is. you know. And see, the sad thing about all of it is, even if somebody watches this video, they ain't even gonna have it in them to even understand it. They'll just dismiss it. Yeah, screen right there. The two big boy gematria ciphers, okay, is Latin and Satanic gematria. And what's that fucking number that we're always talking about? There's screen right there. In Latin, it's 223. Right there, screen. In Latin, 223. In Satanic gematria, blood is 223. Because the screen channels the optic nerve being connected to the nervous system. When you overload certain systems of the anatomy, then they can filter over in the nervous system, and then that causes major fucking problems when this shit compresses the brain with so many images and it overloads it into sensory overload. And then you create a mean demon called Ahriman, and they will argue with you, and they will die for what's in that fucking device, because they're not real. They're not real. Every decade, each day that goes by, more billboards get put up. You need to think about that. That's the fucking black magic, mind control. Digital boards everywhere, touch screens. There's no good jobs. You go to Chick-fil-A and work, there's touch screens. McDonald's, touch screens. Touch screens everywhere. There's no real experience learning critical thinking. These are just little bitty Ahrimans running around touching screens. And when you challenge them, they're overloaded. Oh, he's crazy. It's in here. You see all of us. Yeah, you've been cut off. You're going to miss the whole boat on the other side. They are storing souls. Well, better yet, they've been, if we go back to Aristotle. Look, let's see. Aristotle died. When did he die? Look, what year is that in BC? 322. So, for 600 years, basically, from Aristotle's death until whoever in 300, they eradicated everything that was here. We can hear about the Library of Alexandria. There was a shit ton more. They eradicated everything to flush soul and spirit out completely. And then through the course of 2,000 years, longer, each soul going across has been uploaded into the brain with different black magic. And then when them fucking idiots come back into this world, they're uploaded with some more different shit. Each time conditioning that soul to hear. So when you have this many people on Earth, this is a big black magic trick. Then the ones that come into these cavities, they're empty. There's nothing in their brain. They have been conditioned over and over and over to be a fucking idiot. Which brings up another point of black magic. All right, look. Idiot. Idiot. Do you see what's in the middle? Dio. Dio. Studio. Radio. Audio. Definition of Dio. It depends on the context. It most commonly translates to God. So we listen to radio, listen to audio. They go to a studio, STU, that's 1, 2, 3. And black magic is 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, Dio. See, S is the 19th letter. 1 and 9 is 10. 1 and 0 is 1. T is the 20th. 2 plus 0 is 2. And then U is the 21st letter. That's why they always say the U. The 201 Jesuits, 2 and 1 is 3. And before your world, operators in black magic called it ABC 1, 2, 3. Steiner even talks about it. It's because they don't go through the alphabet. That's the ABC is all you get. That's it. That's it. And then you've got stations, ABC, NBC, CBS, CBS 3, 2, 1. S goes back to 1. C and B, 3 and 2. Third letter, second letter. ABC is 1, 2, 3. And then NBC. NBC breaks down to 14. 1 and 4 is 5. B is 2. And then C is 3, which is 523. Okay, and 523 is the 99th prime. And within the 99th prime, the sum of the divisors is 156. 911 is the 156 prime. It all goes back to this 911 demon. That's why 911's on the police cars. It's black magic. Dispatch. Listen, city limits, binding, boundaries, license to depart. We went over that. You get a driver's license. You're allowed. When I'm ready for you to come back and you fight for me, I'm going to call you, obey my laws, get through the screens, the news stations. They're not on our side. And then they come at Matt and everybody. Ahrimans, mentally challenged human beings, mentally challenged soul and spirit. Cavity's great. Look at them. They think everything is, oh, look at this. This is saving lives. Did you know that all the games on here are silent tranquilizers for the brain? They'll tell you that it's brain exercises. The brain controls the anatomy. 90% of the people now are obese and pathetic. They eat snacks and eat shit food. I don't want to hear that. That's not brain exercises. And where does that come through? The news and experts and licensees, which are Black Path, seer, magician, death, fucking satanic demons. And it doesn't matter. These Ahrimans, whatever they put out, these fucking demons, oh yeah. They got their phones and they got it all, buddy. They are so absorbed with fucking Ahriman. It's like, yes. And everything that they're absorbed with has no soul or spirit. It's devoid of soul and spirit. And yet they go to church. And then these pastors, which are fucking demons, tell them whatever they want to hear. And then they go run around telling everybody how real everything is. Look how real Matt's crazy. He's crazy. He's fucking crazy. These are mentally challenged. And we destroyed them with their own Google too. And we destroyed the ones that created us. Look, if you can start to see this is deeper than anything. This is bigger than any of these fucking stupid videos on any social media. This ain't about fame. This ain't about none of that shit. I can't, listen, if I try to talk about what's going on with me, it's too deep for anybody. But I might do it anyways. Just to fucking, but listen, between me and you and the ones that control us, they know exactly what's going on with me in a sense. But this ain't supposed to happen. This kind of shit with a goy ain't supposed to happen. This shit ain't supposed to happen. A goy ain't supposed to come from the hospital bed and go through all these fucking stupid Jesuit books and black magic and then unlock everything and then go straight to nature, unlock that veil, and then understand the gematria and just look at things and let it unlock instead of being the Ahrimanic mind. No, I got to read it all. I got to memorize it. That's demons. Every one of those birds out there and them sounds, when I go, they're going to be figures. All the cartoons that these kids watch, when they go, those sounds of cartoons are going to be figures, but they're going to be deformed demons surrounding them. Not the birds, and not the wind, and not the leaves I can hear. All that's going to be nothing but huge blankets welcoming me. And that's what they don't want you to know. Black Path magicians want you to absorb as much as this shit as you can, die, and then your subconscious goes and everything you uploaded in here comes out and makes this sphere, a demon sphere. That it's earth. You're stuck to earth. You're trapped in the possession, in a sense, to earth forever. Your life is like a hermit, but it never finds a home. It's always trying to find a shell or cover, but never finds it. It's always seeking those addictions and all those obsessions and possessions that was uploaded in here. And then on top of that, there's other shit that goes on. Too much to get into. I love you.